Hello, 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 and welcome to the movement. Thank you for joining us. We are the movement. We're a motivational organization veered to educate minds, empower, nurture, and transform. And as Annette so affectionately says as she rolls her neck, we are a movement to move. Yes, we are a movement to move. We want to help you thrust into your purpose so that you can start living the best version of yourself and win. We want to see you win. We tap into a winner's mindset. We're sitting at the winner's table, and we want to see everybody win. Right, Annette?
That's so right. We're excited tonight as always. I guess you said we are always excited, but actually we are because we believe wholeheartedly that we have something to share to help thrust you into your next level. And you could be in this winner's circle.
Exactly. So we want to see everybody win. And, life is so tough. And so often, we heard T.D. Jakes say this a while back, and that sent me this recording. Life is so tough that, a lot of times we have our ups and downs and, we're seeking answers. And he says, we oftentimes offer inspiration, but not information. And we not only want to inspire you, but we want to inform you. We want to offer you information so that you could start living the best version of yourself. So sometimes our destiny is like right there. We underestimate the road that we're traveling, and sometimes we think that, oh my goodness, I'm never gonna make it. This is never gonna happen. Oh, I must have just been dreaming. This must have been a lie. Oh, I don't believe. Maybe I just made it up, or I reached too far. Blah blah blah. Womp womp womp. I'm here to tell you today that your destiny awaits you. And if you don't know anything about me right now, I'm going to drill this from now until Jesus comes back, that all you have to do is tap in. If we would learn to get rid of our limiting beliefs and just hold on to what's promised to us and really believe, God's really going to do this. He's going to make this happen. He's going to, he's not going to just show this to me and and it's not going to happen. No, he's going to make this thing happen. And we just have to believe that. So I'm here to help, I want to see everybody win. I want to see everybody live the best version of themselves that they can. So, and I'm very passionate about this thing. So tonight we're dealing with a topic that I'm sure that everybody can relate to because, this is how it feels. The topic, of course, a difficult road leads to a beautiful destiny. A difficult road leads to a beautiful destiny. And I know that we have, dealt with this. We've seen, this is a very common quote, but I forgot the name of the lady that did the quote. A difficult road leads to beautiful destinations is what she says. But I know for us who have tapped into our purpose, have tapped into our potential, and we know that we've been given a God-given vision that we're reaching our destiny. It's what we were predestined to do. It's what we were promised, is what we were ordained, what we were put on this earth to do. And a lot of us are striving to reach that destiny. Life is filled with so many obstacles, and sometimes it seems impossible just to stay on top, to stay afloat. Because we have constant pressures to perform. We have to perform at work. We have to perform at home. We have to perform, all of the things that just make life happen to maintain our personal lives. And it seems to be no end in sight to the test, because through everything that we deal with, there are tests and there are trials, and we're constantly going through. And oftentimes the road between us and our destiny looks like something out of a futuristic movie because it seems so impossible. It looks like an impossible road to travel, but I'm here to tell you that it's not. You are traveling the right road, no matter how difficult it might look ahead of you. It's designed for you. It's designed for your journey, and you are designed to travel that road.
Yes.
I'm going to choose as my word tonight when it says a difficult road leads to a beautiful destiny. I'm dealing with the word leads. And to lead means, when I look at this word intransitively, I found a very interesting definition that says to begin. Now, remember, when I'm dealing with the word intransitively, it just is. We know that a verb is an action word, and even in its state, it could be standing still or moving. It just is. So to begin, that means that you are beginning. And we also know that we say this so often that as we're traveling down this road, we're going towards our destiny, and we may reach what seems to be a finishing point, but it's just the beginning of a whole new road that we have to travel, because our purpose is full of many destinations. So we're going, with that word to lead means to begin. And then I looked at it transitively, it meant to go through. To begin and to go through. And Annette said something last week that just stuck with me. Annette, did you leave us? I think she left us, or she may have had to talk to somebody. Gosh, I wanted to include her in this part of the conversation. She said something last week. She said the best way out is through. I think Woo was like really on that one. She was like, it was a couple of things that she said she was going to keep. The best way out is through. I'm going to steal from her phrase and say, the best way to is through. In order for you to get to where you're going, you have got to go through. Because what you're going to is on the other side of that through. There's a blessing on the other side of through. You have got to go through that entire road. And with that being said, I'm going to open up our presentation, and we're going to dive right into this conversation. And as you can see, I have a very interesting, oh goodness, I did something weird here. Fire the PowerPoint lady, fire the PowerPoint lady. Okay, let me try this one more again. Okay, I don't know what I did with my PowerPoint. I think I closed it. Y'all forgive me. Oh gosh, it's so funny. But yes, when she said that last week, a lot of us like jumped on it, because I know me, I'm always looking for that phrase, that one thing that's just gonna speak to me in the moment. And that thing spoke to me in the moment. I was like, look at him, look at God. She said that. She said the only way out is through. And it's true. We have, when we're looking at our storms and our trials and our troubles, our tribulations, a lot of times we just look at that thing like, oh my God, like you're going to be in it forever, but you're not. The storm doesn't last always. The song says trouble doesn't last always. It's only for a season. You're only going to deal with what you're dealing with for a season. You're only going to have that trial and that storm and that difficult moment for a season. But eventually you are going to get through that thing. There is a blessing on the other side of through. You are going to make it through it. So now I can save it. Now I can share it, excuse me. So I'm going to share our presentation. And you see I have a nice picture that depicts exactly what that road ahead of you looks like. How many of you can look at this? When you look at this road, it looks like, oh my gosh, that thing never ends. And sometimes this is how it feels when we're going towards our destiny. We feel like we're on this winding road. And it's like when I get from this point to that point, it's like, oh, I'm going to make it. And then when you get around the corner, you see that it continues to wind more. And we're like, golly, I thought the storm was over. I thought I was done with these pressures. I thought I was going to be through with this. I thought, oh goodness, how am I back here again? Why am I going through this again? Why am I dealing with this again? Oh goodness, I don't know what to do. I don't know if I'm going to make it. And you get around that corner, you're like, and you see like, whoo, I didn't think I was going to make it, and I made it. And then you get around that corner, you see a whole nother winding road. And I know that sometimes it feels just like that.
Yeah.
A difficult road leads to a beautiful destiny. You have to stay the course. You have to stay on the road. And we're going to dive right into this thing, because there was a song, and I don't know, some of y'all who might be these old, especially Pentecostal little church kids, there was a song that went, I'm pressing on the upper way.
Oh, yeah.
New heights I'm gaining each and every day. And then they go to, I'm pressing on. I'm pressing on. But I love that song. And it came to me tonight when I was putting together this presentation, because that's how it feels. I'm pressing on the upward way, because it's like it's almost like you're climbing a mountain. And we're going, a lot of times we go through so many difficulties. Life is so uncanny. life is full of twists and turns and
Yeah.
surprises, and you just don't know from one day to the next. It seems like you're done with something and you're going through another. But I want to encourage somebody today, because the thing is, even though we're going through them, every day that we wake up, we get an opportunity to start anew and to see the light. We can see the light at the end of the tunnel. We can see the clouds. We can see that okay, now the sun is peeking through the clouds. So I feel like I'm about to break, but I keep in mind that there's a reason why I'm dealing with these hard times, because when I get up the next day and I see that ray of hope, I feel like, wow, better days are ahead of me. So I can appreciate this thing, because hard times in life are a blessing in disguise in most of the cases, because they allow us to be more grateful for the good times.
Yeah.
We go through those hard times, we're grateful for good times. I don't know about you, but when I go through something tough, I'm grateful to have that breath of fresh air.
Yes, Lord.
I'm grateful that when it's after the storm, I can see the rainbow and remember next time you won't have to give up, because you're going to make it. Because that bow is set in the clouds that shows you that once the storm passes, the sun is going to shine again. So, and that's how I feel about, when I was dealing with coming up with this particular topic, pressing on the upward way, because if we stay the course and we persevere, perseverance leads to victory.
Come on now. That's it.
When you persevere through things, when you press through stuff, just when it seems like you're about to break, it's about to end. You might have to climb mountains. You might have to traverse through the desert. You might have, go through a maze, but eventually you will reach your goal. And if you want something bad enough, life will reward you with it, as long as you work hard and don't throw in the towel. When you want it bad enough, God will give it to you, but you cannot give up. People will tell you, oh, it's time. You need to give up. Oh, it's never going to happen. And there are people who have traveled before you who can tell you, darling, if you would just not get tired, do not be weary in well doing, for in due season you shall reap if you faint not. You have to have the faith, because your treasure is tied up in your destination. When you reach the destination of your destiny, that's where the treasure is tied up. And the thing is, it's there and it's promised to you, but you have to get to it. You have to persevere, because that's the only way that you're going to see the victory.
That's right.
And as you're going through that perseverance, another thing that happens is that it teaches us patience. We learn to be patient, because it's hard sitting and waiting. And I don't know about you, but sometimes I get mad when people get real churchy with me. That's why it was our goal to not be churchy on this platform.
Yes.
We're like, okay, we are not going to over churchify people, because we know how it is when somebody keeps telling you to hold on to God's unchanging hand. Because, it's tough to hold on. It's tough to be patient. I don't want to be patient. I don't want to wait. And I don't want nobody to come singing to me, I don't mind waiting. Because I do mind waiting. I don't mind waiting on God's presence, but I mind waiting on my blessing. I do mind waiting. So I know sometimes it gets tough, because we get into that phase where we're like, oh God.
I love it. That's the
We
truth.
live in a culture of instant gratification anyway, where nobody wants to wait for anything. Everybody wants everything handed to them. And we start gravitating to that. But we have to surrender our will. We have to surrender when it gets tough. And we have to understand that there's a gift that happens when we are patient, instead of forcing it and trying to make it happen sooner than it needs to. It's like taking the cake out of the oven before it's done.
Yeah.
You have got to wait. You can't rush it. You can't rush greatness. You can't rush God. His timing is not your timing. So you have to, when you reach it, you're going to reach it when it's time for you to reach it. Man. The other thing is the ironic duality of life.
Oh, come on now.
Life requires sacrifices and understanding that, there's a lot of things that happens. It takes sadness to know happiness. You won't know pain. You won't know pleasure unless you know pain. You won't know how to be strong if you haven't been weak. And it takes hard times to know the good times.
Sure enough.
And that's why we have to start from where we are and understand that you have to work long hours for the first few years without being paid off in a business when you started. But it'll be worth the sacrifice if you hang in there. You have to hang in there when you're not making money. You have to hang in there when you got one client. You have to hang. I remember when I started working as a vocal coach as on my own, I had 2 clients, literally 2. And trust me, when one of those clients would cancel, I would be like, oh. And it was nothing like showing up and the client say, oh, my daddy, he didn't leave the check. He said he could just give it to you next week. Boy, that'd be a long week. And I've been there. It's hard. But I held on and I was faithful over that one client, and then God began to multiply. And I didn't even have to worry about whether that one client paid that bill or not. And trust me, I have gone through many ups and downs since then where it gets a little tough. But guess what? I've learned to be weary and well doing. I have learned to be faithful when there's few, because I know that I've been promised, and I know what I've been promised. And I know that if I just keep pressing on the upward way, I have to deal with the ironic duality of life. I have to deal with the fact that sometimes there's lack and sometimes there's greatness. So I know what it's like to be broke. And I know, I'm praying to feel what it's like to be rich. Because now, like I said, I know what it's like to be broke. I know what it's like to be blessed. I know what it's like to live and to have my bills paid. Now I need the other duality. I know how it feels to have my bills paid, and I know how it feels to be wealthy with, the monetary needs that move things on this earth. God, the Bible says money answers all things. So you need it to accomplish things on this earth. So I'm asking, I believe in God for that duality. What about you in that?
Oh, yes, ma'am. Oh, yes.
I know some of y'all feel the same way I do about that thing now. Because, it makes life a whole lot easier. But, hey, I'm not, I don't love it. I'm not married to it, and I don't worship it. I just want it so I can make things move. Boom. And another thing that, when we're dealing with the ironic duality of life, and it is ironic. Life is strange. Life is different. Life is weird. We don't even know. Sometimes it's like, oh my God. It's like you get so discouraged. But, it's the difficult road that we've been walking down is not a dead end. So it doesn't make sense to continue down something that is leading to nowhere. You know where this is leading. It is a hard path. It's bumpy, it's coarse, it's tough. And what it does is it toughens your feet. When you're walking on something that's hard, when you're walking on something that's tough, your feet become tough. And that is the only way that you can stand firm, because it deepens your understanding. It deepens your understanding of yourself, of life, and how you have worked all these long hours, and that it's going to pay off. It's ironic, yes, but it shows you it shows you what you want and that you and what you don't want in life, and it shows you how to stand firm in what you know you're supposed to have. So I'm not going to let that road intimidate me to make me think that I can't reach my destination, because I know that it's tough right now. But if I press on the upward way, my perseverance is going to lead to victory. It's going to teach me patience. I'm going to deal with the ironic duality of life. Yes, I know what it was like then, but I'm going to know what it's like there. And I'm tough. I have built up a resistance, and I'm tough, and can't nothing and nobody knock me down or sway me off my path.
Come on now. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That's a life coach statement right there. Well, we're going to be dealing with something that I really kind of got excited about, because I drive, and I've been driving since I was about 12 or 13, and I'm dealing with straight roads never made skillful drivers. You will never be skillful just going straight. Life has turns and twists. When you're driving, sometimes you got to make a quick right or a quick left, and so you will never, even in life, you will never be skillful in life just going straight. Life teaches you something. Like she was saying, that duality of life. Oh yes, along the way you're gonna have some ups and downs. You're gonna you get up that morning, you decide you're gonna go right, but life may take you left. You decide you're gonna go front, the life may take you back. So straight roads, the straight things in life never make you skillful. But when you go through some stuff, when you go through go through some disappointments, trust me, you become skillful. Things that really will rock me, it don't even bother me now. 10 years ago, certain things would just knock me down. But now I'm like, oh well. Because why? Because life have taught me how to deal with it. I've become skillful in certain areas that just don't bother me. I would be up all night long. When I had, like, say if I have bills or something, like, okay, I wake up in the morning.
As if that's gonna help.
Yeah. But along the way, life has taught me, I've become skillful in those areas. So, I just deal with it. That's just the way it is. But the first thing I really want to deal with tonight is under construction detour. That's how life is. I was thinking about Orlando. I went over to Orlando recently. And I probably for the last 40 years, Orlando been doing construction.
Yes.
I mean, I've never been over there when they was not working on the road.
Me either.
And and sometimes you have your GPS and it'll tell you to go a certain place, and you get there, you can't get up where the GPS says because there's detours. And that's how life is. We have our little compass, our GPS, and everything's going smooth, and we going through life, and all of a sudden you find out that it's under construction, you got to make a detour. But I understand something about detours, in life. There are lessons to be learned in detours in life. One thing about a detour, it directs you, it equips you. The detour will transform you because your way of thinking have to change. You cannot just take detours and stay the same. You cannot. Right. You got to transform it. It causes you to be observant, it utilize, and it also refresh and reboot you. It causes that thing that got you off path, it have you get to a place where you begin to think, like, wait a minute now, I gotta do things a little different. I can't go the way I was going, so I gotta regroup. And so what happens in life when we're going on the construction, we still want to do it the way it was. No, baby, it's time to change. Life has changed, situation has changed, and so you're under construction, and there's just detours in life. I had planned my life, but my life detoured. Oh my gosh, I stay under construction. I mean, I'm under construction right now. It's a good thing because the more I'm under construction, that means that God is building me and he's making me better. And then even in Orlando, even though it is frustrating sometimes, but because the city, especially a big city, probably down in Miami, they have to keep building the roads. Because the city is growing. And so that's what happened with us. We have to be under construction because we're growing. God have to do it. If you're going to get to the next level now, if you're okay where you are, then that's you. But even though you say, well, I'm just going to sit right here and I'm not going to bother nobody, ain't nobody going to bother me. But even with that, you're still under construction because you sitting there, ain't bothering nobody, ain't nobody bothering you. And I'm just going to sit in my house and I ain't going to fool with, how I ain't fooling with nobody. But you're still under construction. God's still doing something with you. He's still trying to take you to the next level. He's trying to build you. And so when you're under construction, it's not to hurt you. It's really to help you, to get you to the next level. It helps your mindset. It helps you view things different. So I appreciate my construction and I appreciate the detours. Now, I didn't like it then. I ain't gonna lie. I didn't like it. But now, 5-10 years later, I'm like, well, God, thank you. Because if you had not taken me that way, where would I be now?
Come on.
I'll be sitting in my house where I don't bother nobody and I don't want nobody to bother me. I'm just right here and I'm going to work. When I get 62, I'm going to retire and I'm going to live on my retirement money. And if I get a little short with money, maybe they'll hire me at Walmart. No.
Girl, come on now.
It's God got bigger things for us.
Mm-hmm.
Not only that, wrong turns can lead to right directions.
Mm.
Have you ever been driving when you make a wrong turn? I know one time I was driving and, you know, it would say no turns, right? To the right. Well, I turned. I was like, oh, Lord. All the cars was coming toward me.
Oh, gosh. You wouldn't turn down a one-way street. I've done that before.
I turned the wrong way.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes in life, you turn the wrong way. But one thing I've learned about turning the wrong way in life, it seemed wrong at the time. But what God was doing is really putting me in position to get to the next level.
Mm-hmm.
See, I thought it was I really thought in my mind it was the wrong way because that was not the way I had planned to go. Because you know how sometimes when you're driving and then you get up to a point, you got to make that hard left, Anita.
Yes, I know.
And you know, but sometimes you're making a hard left, but God say, I'm just taking you to the soft right.
Mm-hmm.
So when I look at my life and I look how I made so many turns that was wrong, you know, when I was young and I had a child, I got married, you know, the story. And I thought that was the worst thing. I can remember being 13, 14 years old and
Mm-hmm.
I only had my sister, was my only friend, and I was ostracized and, you know, all that stuff back 60 years ago. I was a fast girl, but which I wasn't, but I just got caught up. But now, fast forward here 50 years later, I look at my lineage. I look at my daughters.
Mm-hmm.
I look at my grandkids. I look at the things, you know, I have a grandson that sings. I have a grandson that cooks. I have a granddaughter that writes. I have, you know, so I'm looking at my lineage. So that wrong turn in my life 45 years ago, it really took me in the right direction.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't see it then. And that's how life is sometimes. When you get frustrated, you say, well, God, I didn't plan to be here, but it ain't about your plan. God said it's about the direction he's taking you. And so that was a lesson I learned. I didn't understand it then. I remember crying. I was a little girl, really didn't know nothing about nothing, just crying, oh, I don't want this baby. Oh, you know, and then so, you know, you're being young and really dumb, really. And somebody told me what I could do, you know, I could, you know, do this, hold your head up and hands up, and then you can strangle the baby, all kind of foolishness. But God said, no, that was foolishness, and I was a kid. But God said, no, your wrong turn is my right direction. So just know, regardless of how your life may have started, it may look like you didn't make your goal and you didn't get to where you thought you was going to be. But God said, never about you. It was never about you. It was where I'm trying to get you. So that wrong turn got me to the right direction. And I look at my kids all the time. And I say, God, I'm so blessed when it comes to them. I'm so blessed because they, you know, not bragging on, well, yeah, I'm gonna brag on my kids because, you know, I was a single mother, didn't know nothing, trying to raise a child raising children, but God, but still at the end of the day it was the right direction. So I have this lineage and I see my grandkids and I said, well, my God, look what you've done. So, you know, God will do that. Now also now you got to grow through what you go through. There are life lessons, you know, sometimes plans don't work out the way you plan them. You know, sometimes you have to understand, you know how we have our plan A and your plan B. But you know what? There are 25 other letters in the alphabet. So if you're
planning, girl,
and you don't work, maybe you need to go to your C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N. You know, because sometimes plan A and B don't work. Don't stop at plan A and B. Listen, I stopped at plan A and B when I was 13 years old.
Come on now.
So there are other alphabets. So I'm able to go further, you know. So you have to learn how to know that forever it's really not forever. See, when we go through things, it seems like it's forever, but it's not really forever. So for your forever is not forever. It's that you just got to get to a point in life that you accept and really try to understand what God is trying to do in your life. You know, that's a hard lesson because we get frustrated and we get aggravated because we want to move forward, you know, and I want to have this book and I want to do this, but sometimes that's not the way God would have it. So we got to learn how to take one day at a time. You know, one day, a day one, you decide. It's either one day, a day one, you decide how you're going to live your life. And see, and when we're going through and we're growing through what we're going through, we're not giving up sometimes, but sometimes you just got to start over. Don't, even if you have to walk away from that, then that means you need to go to this. because I mean, you cannot
Mm-hmm.
stop where you are, because life will tell you it's over. That's it. You'll never amount to anything. You'll never be anything. Look at you. You know, your nappy hair. You're from no, baby. Listen, nappy hair's in. So listen,
Okay.
I can't worry about what people think, but you got to understand that when you're going through, there's a lesson. I try really hard. Now, I don't always understand the lessons, because it took me some years to understand why I had to go through what I went through in my first part of my life. But there are always lessons in what you go through. And so what I would say tonight to you, that try to figure out what that lesson is and try to grow from that lesson, and you know, and stop. You know, I spent so much of my life angry and frustrated and mad. I ain't gonna never be that. And I had woe is me. You know, I don't have this, and really just cry. Like, I bet God probably saying, shut up, because I got something for you down the line, but you got to hold on. And also, you need to always take the scenic route in life. You know how you travel and you go through the scenic route and how beautiful it is. You know, everything is so beautiful, you know. But even with the scenic route, and even when things look good, you got to understand there are unplanned stops. When, you know, when I'm traveling, I remember one time we were traveling, and we had the tie blew out. So, you know, you're traveling and everything's looking beautiful. You're going the scenic route, but my tie blew out. So, you know, there are unplanned stops. And then there's unexpected turns, because again, you're riding down the road and all of a sudden you see a detour, which I talked about earlier. You know, so things happen that we don't expect. But I had to learn something. This was a lesson, a hard lesson for me. But see, I had to ditch my map for a compass. And what I mean by that, see, a map is a drawing of a particular area, but a compass points and leads you to the way you need to go.
Come
A
on.
map is just, you just see certain areas. I may see a map of the United States. Well, I don't see anything outside of that. So if I'm looking at that map, that means that's the farthest I can go. But a compass says that everywhere I point, you can go. Everywhere I lead you, you can go. And so I lived my life, I ditched the map, and I lived my life with a compass, because I believe the straight road never made skillful drivers. And so the map didn't do it for me. I had to have the compass. And the compass was the Lord. He was leading and guiding me to where I needed to go. And I didn't even know it. I didn't even understand. I didn't even know what all that meant until I went through. Like you said earlier, you have to really go through heartache to understand, you know, joy. You know, you have to be disappointed sometimes. But when it happens, and I look back over my life, I look back all the frustration, I look back all the heartache, all the tears, everything I've been through, it was all worth it. But what I see now, my lineage, my grandkids, my daughters, you know, my husband, what I see now, my stepchildren, all those people had a part in my life. My mother, my sibling, even the struggle I had with a family member. You know, I had to walk through that, and it was difficult, because I really want to bust a side of head. But that was not God. But it was a lesson in that. You know, I had to learn that sometimes you have to go through to get through. And sometimes you're so disappointed, but life keeps going. And life is a road.
It sure is.
It's a road trip. I was watching that movie, oh man, with Chevy Chase. I think it was, and he was trying to get to this park, this amusement park.
Yes.
And they had so many issues along the way. They was excited about the road trip. But you know, life is a road trip. You know, you excited. Like when we started the movement, we were excited about them. Girl, we getting ready to shake the world. We're gonna get ready to change the world. Oh no, they don't understand. Here we come. You know. But along the way, there were some things that happened, and that's how it is. Life is a road trip, and it's fun. And let me say this: even though you have some disappointments on the road trip, but you have some good times too. There's some good times when you're traveling. I love to travel. I love to. Oh man, I love it. You know, I love to be in a car not going far now. I don't go too far, but because I get tired of that. But I like to, you know, the road and see the beautiful trees and you know, that just excites me. But you know, along the way, life is a road trip. And finally, here, let's move on. I need a stepping stone, not a milestone. And it talks about a milestone around one's neck. It's a burden. It's a punishment. It's a, you know, it causes you discomfort. It's impossibility. You know, you're trying to avoid life. But a stepping stone is a stone that you use to climb. You climb to, you get into the next level, the next step. That milestone gets around your neck and it hinders you. It stops you. It halts you. You're trying to go somewhere, but it get in the way. And that's how life is. It get in the way sometimes. You're disappointed. You're disillusioned. You're burdensome. You're down and you're out. But a stepping stone it gets you to the where you need to be. You have to embrace your steps, because you know when you go into the next level, it's about movement. And even the movement, when we named it a movement, it means that we're going somewhere. We're going to another level. A movement does not stay in one place. It keeps moving. So you have to embrace your step. You know, it's a level of growth. You have to learn how to aim higher, because sometimes we could get stagnated and we think we've arrived and we reached our plateau. But no, you got to keep aiming higher. You got to keep going to the next level. You cannot stop. You got to be grateful for past steps. Because looking back give you the feel you need to go forward. And I'm not talking about getting caught up in the past. I'm saying just take a brief look back and say, God, I thank you for where I've been, but I even thank you more for where I'm going. Because every time I look back over my life, I said, God, look at you with your bad self. It was nobody but you, because truly, I don't have the sense enough, the wit enough. I'm not smart enough to really get me to where I am. And so I understand who did it. And so you have to embrace it and be grateful for. I'm grateful for those past steps. I'm grateful for those tears. I'm grateful for the heartache. I'm grateful. Now I don't want to go through it no more, but I'm grateful for where I've been. But then you have to step fully. That means walk forward all your might. You need to have momentum to go forward. Sometimes, you know, you lose your momentum. You know how you've been pushing and grinding, and sometimes you lose your momentum. I had a raggedy car. You know what, y'all? I used to get when I was much younger, and I ain't have no money, but every income tax time I was balling, okay? So every year I would go buy a car. So that car would last to the next year. But anyway, one particular car, it had some issues, and I'm driving this, and I'm mashing the gas, and it was barely going. I mean, I needed another car. It had lost its momentum, and that's how we are sometimes. We lose our momentum. We lose what we need to get to the next level. So you have to keep pushing and keep moving. But not only that, I'm gonna move on. I love this one. No, I'm not lost. I'm just changing lanes. It looks sometimes when we're going through like we've lost our way. It looks sometimes like we don't know what we're doing. We look like all scattered and don't have things together. But it's not that I'm lost, y'all. I'm just changing lanes. And I'm going to another level. Changing lanes signifies changing your route. You know, you every now and then you got to change your route. You got to be careful when you change, but every now and then you must change to avoid road construction. Along the way, you got to change, because you could be riding down the road and you'll see something in the road. And so you may have to swerve to keep from hitting it. So, you know, I'm not lost. I'm just making a change. Change signifies others to come close to you and let them know that you're making a change. So I'm not lost. I'm just changing lanes. I'm changing lanes because where I was heading is now where God will have me to go. Where I'm heading was the wrong place. So what I had to do, I had to change lanes. I was using the GPS on Sunday, and I got down the road, and then I had to turn around and come back home. But the GPS kept telling me, oh, turn here. What it was trying to reroute me to get me to my original place I was going. So all the way home, it kept turn you turn that, turn that. So it wasn't that I was lost. it was just time for me to change lanes because that's how life does. It looked like you're lost, but y'all not lost.
Come on.
It's time to change. You're not a lost. You're just trying to get to a place that you need to be. And not only that, my question to you is this: can you walk the road your dream goes? Do you have the capacity to walk? You know, we have the
yes, yes.
Oh, I'm going to the next level. I'm going to the next level. He has put his hand around me. You know how we do. And
yes, girl.
I am anointed and appointed to do this and do that.
Say it. That's what we do, girl. That's what.
Can you walk the road that your dream goes? Because a dream can go places that you may never go. But do you have the capacity? Do you have what it takes? Do you have the willpower? Do you have what it takes to go where your dream goes? Because see, my dream is going long. My dream told me I'm gonna travel all over the world.
Come on.
I had the capacity and I have the know-how and what it takes to get to the next level. So we can dream big, but can you walk big? Can you walk in that destiny? Can you walk in that place that you've been called to walk in? I wonder, can you? And that was a question I had to really, I'm throwing it out there, but I asked myself that. Can I walk in this dream? And do I have what it takes? Will I crumble before I see my dream? I had to ask myself that. But let me say this, and I'm moving on. Sometimes in life, and I know I talked about a map and a compass, but sometimes in life, you have to map out your future, but please use a pencil. Because when you're mapping out your future, sometimes you have to erase that. Don't map out your future in an ink pen, honey, because you're going to have to use some white out. Because most times what we plan for our life is not what God planned for us. So when you map out your future, use a pencil so you can erase that and you can go to the next level to where God will have you to go.
Come on.
And finally, and I will be out of y'all way. Should I tune up? No, just oh, God. Dirt roads lead to the same place. An unpaved gravel road is made from the natural material in that area. I went to Espanola recently, and when you come into Espanola, you get to the stop sign. If you make a left, the road is paved. If you make a right, it's a dirt road. But I learned something about when I was thinking about this, that whether it's a dirt road or a paved road, if you stay on it long enough, it's going to get you to where you need.
Come on now.
Dirt roads can be bumpy and they're not smooth. You know how life is, y'all. Sometimes it can be real bumpy and not smooth. Along the way, on dirt road, there are potholes. That's depressions in the road. You know how your life there has a depression in your life, when everything seems to be going along the little road so smooth, and all of a sudden you hit that pothole. And if you're not careful, that's why when you're driving down the dirt road, you really shouldn't drive fast, because if you hit a pothole the wrong way, it can destroy your car. It can get you offline. You have to go and get your wheel balance. And sometime in life, when we're going down the dirt road, we get off balance. So we got to get ourselves back in line and get balance. And finally, on a dirt road, it can kick up dust. And it causes you not to be able to see. And even in our life, sometimes there are times we cannot see, but we have to trust our Creator that He can lead and guide us, because whether you're on a dirt road or a paved road, I guarantee you, if you keep going, you'll get to, if you keep driving, you'll get to the same place. It's just the road is going to be a little different. It's going to be a little bumpy, not smooth, potholes along the way, depression in the road, that dust get in the way, but you have to know that dirt roads lead to the same place. So life is a road trip. And my last comment to you tonight, get ready to travel, and along the way, enjoy the ride.
Come on now, enjoy the ride. Woo! We fall down, but we get up. Listen, We fall down. And listen, there are times as you are traveling that nice road trip, trust me, like Annette says, when she said that going down that dirt road, every now and then you hit a pothole. And then the other thing that dust comes up. There are sometimes that, hey, I don't know about you, but I've been in situations before where I'm on the side of the road because the car broke down. Been there, done that.
Girl.
But there are times in life, especially going up this hill, when we pressing up the upper way, going up this hill, trying to get to our destiny, there are times that we are just gonna fall.
Yeah.
There are times that we're not going, we're gonna hit that stumbling block. But just like the song says, we fall down, but we get up. You keep getting up. And when you get up, rise against the wind, not with it. When you think about, when I thought about this phrase, when you're rising with the wind is controlling you. But when you rise against the wind, you're using the wind to your advantage.
Okay.
So when you face those hardships and difficulties, when you are pressing the upward way and you might fall, instead of allowing that fall to control you, you use the fall to your advantage. You rise against the wind. You rise against the turbulence. You rise against the hardships, not leaning on them and not allowing it to be the thing that just drags you on along. Because trust me, you rise with the wind and you're going to whip all over. And you see how that road is winding around? That wind can very well take you off to the cliff and just drop you. And then where will you be? You can fall right back to the same place where you started. So we have to learn to use storms and use our hardships and use our situations and circumstances to our advantage. Because just because we've fallen doesn't mean that we have to stay there. Oh, man. Because like I said, sometimes you're going to have that breakdown. But breakdowns create breakthroughs. Breakdowns create breakthroughs. The thing is, I want you to participate with me as we get to this part, because we're at the home stretch here. Because there are a few things that I'm going to say to you, and I want you to kind of get ready to type in the chat, because I need you to participate. And I want to make sure, I want to know that you're listening. I want to know that you're getting this. Getting knocked down in life is a given, but getting up and moving forward is a choice. You have to choose that even though I'm broke down right now, even though I got knocked down, I'm choosing to get up. So I want you to type in, I choose. I choose. I choose. It's not something that, it doesn't take a rocket scientist. All it takes is for you to make a conscious decision that you're not going to allow your situation to dictate how your outcome is going to be. Just because I got knocked down don't mean I'm going to stay there, because I choose to get up. There's a second thing I want to tell you. You can't start the next chapter of your life if you keep rereading the last one.
Wow.
You can't start the next chapter of your life if you keep rereading the last one. Let it go. It's over. And I want you to type this in. I'm turning the page. Type in, I'm turning the page. I'm turning the page. That's it. I'm starting the next chapter. I'm not going to stay in yesterday, because I have a future and a destiny. And don't let people tell you that you have to stay where you are. That's a lie. People will tell you, oh, it's good, just stay there. You got to hold on. You got to endure. Sometimes we get into stuff that God didn't put us in. We get into relationships and marriages and situations that God didn't put us in. And then we want to make it seem like, oh, well, I got to stay because, I got to do this because God forgives sin. And guess what? There are a whole lot of people who are divorced. If that situation is not edifying and benefiting you, if you know you're not supposed to be in it, you weren't supposed to be in it in the first place, and it's not getting any better, and you are just constantly running down, your blood pressure is high, you're going through abuse, all kinds of stuff. Now I believe in toughing it out, because you got to weather through the thick and thin. But when something is about to kill you, when something is robbing you of your destiny, when something is robbing you of your future, it is time to let it go. You have to turn the page. You have to walk away from some situations. We want to hold on and we saying it's God. A lot of times we lie on God and lie on the Holy Spirit. Well, you know, the Lord want me to stay. The Lord want me to do. Let it go. Turn the page, because you can't start the next chapter of your life if you keep rereading what already happened. It is done. Let it go and turn the page. And there's a third thing I want to say to you while I'm right here in this same little spot. Never be ashamed of a scar. It simply means that you were stronger than whatever tried to hurt you.
Come on.
Never be ashamed of a scar. And a lot of us have them. But you're stronger than whatever tried to hurt you. Guess what? It didn't win. So I want you to type in, I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor. I survived this thing. So therefore, I'm wearing this scar. I'm not ashamed of it. Jesus ain't ashamed of his nail-scarred hand. I'm not ashamed of my scars. I'm a survivor. I lived through this. And because you have done those things, because you can consciously say, when you look at your situation and you can consciously say, you know what? I choose to turn the page because I'm a survivor. I choose to live. I choose not to stay in what was because I'm a survivor. And when you can put yourself in that position to really feel that and really understand that and walk in that, you will realize something. You are closer than it looks. It might look like that destiny is so far away, but some of us are like 2 weeks from destiny even starting. Some of us are 2 days. And it feels like it's going to be 3, 4, 5 years. No, we're living in a day and age right now. We're living in an M.O.V.E.M.E.N.T anointing, where the reaper will overtake the one who sows the grapes, who sows the seed. Let me tell you something. Before you can pull that thing up out the ground, the person is tilling the ground and sowing the seed, and the person is right there ready to reap right behind you. Gonna run you over. We're living in an accelerated anointing. And right now, time is moving so fast. Things are happening so fast. Stop waiting around and sitting and dragging it out, claiming you waiting on God when it's probably fear or just disobedience. You're closer than it looks. You are that close to your destiny. Do not give up and do not throw in the towel, because you are close to your blessing that is where? On the other side of through. You could never get to it if you did not go through it. You could never have gotten to it. And some of us are right there, because blessing awaits you on the other side. Hey, Danielle, blessings await you, Danielle, on the other side of through. You have got to hold on and not sit back and listen to what naysayers and doubters and haters have to say. Because guess what? Misery loves company. They miserable and they want you to be miserable right along with them. But the devil is a liar, because I'm getting to my destiny that's on the other side of everything I've been through, everything I've had to pray through, everything I've had to live through, everything I've had to stand through, everything I had to break through, everything I've had to press through. On the other side of on the other side of all of that through, all of them throughs, is your blessing, is your destiny, is that dream that God showed you. He showed you in a dream, and dream became vision. And when vision was written down, vision became purpose, and you became purpose driven to get to your destiny, because that is what God put in your spirit. And when you saw it from the very beginning, as big as it is, it seemed impossible. Guess what? You were designed for it. Boom, y'all. A difficult road leads to a beautiful destiny. It's your destiny. Type that in. It's my destiny. It's my destiny. It's my destiny. I'm supposed to have it. I'm supposed to live like this. I'm supposed to have it. Just pat yourself on the chest, wherever y'all say, I'm supposed to have this. I'm supposed to live like what I'm seeing in my vision. I'm supposed to have this. I'm supposed to live this way. It's my destiny. It's my destiny. Wow. That's some good stuff, Brenda. I'm supposed to have it, Brenda. I'm supposed to live like that. I'm supposed to have it. Yes. I'm supposed to have it, Valerie. I'm supposed to share it. I'm supposed to woo. I'm supposed to, Ida. I'm supposed to, Yolanda. I'm supposed to, Danielle. I'm supposed to, LaShavia. I'm supposed to, Annette. You're supposed to.
Amen.
Each and every one of you, you're supposed to have it. It's your destiny. The road might be difficult, but you were designed for it. And you are going to have it because God said it, and that settles it. Period. Okay, as the kids say. Aha, I got your number. Oh, that felt good, y'all. I felt my help coming on tonight. Woo! Hey, my keyboard's still tuned up over here. You feel it, Ida? I see you done opened up the camera. You saw right there, Ida. You're supposed to have it, sis. You're supposed to. It's your destiny, because God says so. And if He said it, can't no demon, devil, hater, I don't care who it is, tell them to take that foolishness away from you. You don't need that negativity. You need people around you who are going to feed your dreams, who are going to feed your purpose, who are going to stand with you in prayer, who are going to believe with you, who know that ain't no way you're going to be sitting here waiting on something that God didn't tell you. You need the people around, you need the right people around you, not dream killers and haters and people that don't want to go nowhere, want to stay in the same place. No. We got to go up. We're pressing on the upward way. The upward way. New heights I'm gaining every day. Come on, man. That little Pentecostal girl right there, she know exactly what time it is. All right, we opening up the mics. If anybody want to say something, feel free to open the mic and talk. But Annette, girl, what you say about that? What you say about that, Annette? Let me tell you, that's something. That's something. Let me tell you, God is up to something. It's time to win, y'all. It's time to win. It's time to step outside of that mediocrity. Yeah. And it's time to win. It's time to get what was designed for you to have. It's time to take hold of those things and stop waiting on the wayside and thinking that something mystical and magical is going to happen. It's going to fall in your lap. You got to get it.
That's
and
right.
I'm about getting it. And I don't care. Listen, I will stand alone and stand with two people for a long time. Like I did with that one client. I had one client, then I had two. So at least the one canceled and the other one will stay, and I'll be good. At least I have some money for the week. Lord help me when both of them cancel. I was like, oh Lord, or a holiday pop up. But I knew that if I was faithful, God was going to bless me, and He did. I've never seen the righteous forsaken, nor his seed beg bread. And let me tell you something. And sometimes it gets close. Sometimes you feel like, oh God, you just forgot about me. But then all in the nick of time, it's when you learn that lesson, God shows up. And it's like, oh my goodness, now I remember why I love you so much, because you will come in and just make it seem like everything I went through was just my imagination. It didn't really happen that way. Oh God, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was. Oh, what happened? I thought my arm was hurting. I couldn't reach out. I couldn't pick up a bottle. I remember that happened to me one time. I didn't have no money. I didn't have no insurance. I couldn't go to the doctor. I was like, oh, well, I'm going to have to just figure it out. I was walking around, couldn't even pick up a bottle of water. And somebody said, oh, it's tendonitis, it's this, it's carpal tunnel, it's whatever. And I did this one day. Father, in the name of Jesus, I prayed. And I couldn't pick up the bottle the next day still, but I prayed and I left it to God. And before I knew it, I was like, one day I picked up a bottle, like, I wonder what happened to that thing that was going on with my arm. Oh, well, thank you, Jesus. And I've learned that when those things happen in my life, and they have even happened recently, where I didn't even understand how I was going to get out of something, out of nowhere, literally out of thin air, God brings something, boom, right there. And it's Him showing me, listen, I say I got you.
Yeah.
And when it gets tough, Just like Job said, yet will I trust him. Yet will I trust him. And I trust God. I trust him. And I know that the difficult road I'm on is going to lead to a beautiful destiny. And I'm staying the course. So I encourage all of you to stay the course tonight. So thank y'all so much for showing up. Now, you want to say something before we sign off? You got a final word?
Huh?
You have a final word before we log off?
Oh, tell my mind, I was listening to you. Girl, I'm just excited about where God is really shifting and taking us. And I thank everybody for coming on and believing in you, because it's one thing to believe in yourself, but when you have other people start to believe in you and what you're trying to do, it speaks volume. And so I am so humbled and so blessed, because, you know, I'm one of those people that grew up, you know, not always, like I often say, not always being able to put the right sentence together, and, you know, the verb may not be right and the adverb may be somewhere not supposed to, but God would take, if he took a man that stutters and help him change the nation, then he could take a woman who can barely put words together and take her to the next level. So thank you so much, and I'm humbled for y'all being here.
Amen, y'all. All right, good people. Well, hey, thank you guys for showing up. And God just showed out. And as we always say, we are back here again next week, same time, same place, different topic. Ivy, you want to say something? Oh, same place, different topic. She's still getting her shout on. Y'all be blessed. Enjoy your week. Take your rightful place. Pat yourself on the chest, do the Mary J. Blige. This is mine. I see you, Brenda. Take it in Jesus' name. And we love you. Mwah.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. Bye.